All right, dead guy. Let's get into dead guy.
Creepiest story ever.
Oh,
Could
dude.
be ever.
I was tooling around Long Island this weekend. Throw on 1010 Wins, the news station here in New York, every once in a while just to kind of make sure I'm up on things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no way! I'm yelling at my radio like, no way!
This story's awesome.
I don't know if we have the actual news story, but it might be a better read in this case. Yeah, let's go with the read here. Body stays tuned in for a year. After the discovery of the mummified body of an elderly man who died a year ago while watching TV, Long Island officials are even more stunned to learn, the TV was still on. Dies in front of the TV a year ago.
Guy died a year ago.
In front of his TV.
In front of his TV. The humidity in his house was so low that his body was preserved, and it mummified sitting in the chair to the point where the medical examiner said you could totally see his face. He had his facial features, and his hair was still in his head, and he was sitting in his chair watching the television for a year of just 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In the early morning dark blue hours with the flickering TV light on this mummified dead guy's face.
How great is that?
It was so creepy, the image that conjured up to me. And what channel was on?
The sun just rising every day and coming in the window.
Bright light.
Right into his face.
And he's just sitting there mummified watching the same channel every day.
With frozen eyes.
I hope it was something where, like,
I hope he was like a one of these man's man.
Yeah.
And then, they find him and it's figure skating on TV.
Like something happened. He was changing the channels when he died.
Yeah.
So he didn't get to a channel he wanted.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it was something like just as simple as a channel like a Fox affiliate, where he could sit there and sitcoms are on. Like there's Friends and Seinfeld and Raymond or something, and like all these funny canned laughs are going off, and he's just sitting there dead with the jaw kind of falling down.
Frozen dead guy with frozen eyes with canned laughter all over his living room.
At night, it must have been the worst. At night, with just him in the glow of the TV light. And they were saying, how did this electricity stay on so long? Because he hadn't been heard from or paid a bill since December of 2005.
Right.
And
so that's how they're figuring out when he died, I guess?
Yeah, they said the electricity was left on. But what about no family whatsoever? They found this guy, finally. A neighbor called up because I guess one of his pipes froze and burst, and water started leaking, and no one was there to fix it. So one of the neighbors called the cops, and when they went in, there they found him, sitting in front of his TV like he's been for a little over a year. Every day.
Neighbors said he was a retired contractor who built his own house, lived alone, was blind, and suffered from diabetes.
Blind and watching TV for eternity.
Probably just
for a year.
To the audio. Although the mail had piled up, they said they thought he had been put in the nursing home.
People just
piled up. You know how much mail you would get in a year?
A year. And then the mailman just keeps dropping it off. People just really don't care.
No. People just don't take notice.
They don't notice and don't care.
The mailman's probably just whistling every day, just whistling and just piling mail onto this
Throw it on the pile. A year's worth of mail, just throw it on the pile.
I want to know what was on the TV. Why can't the news help us out? We all want to know what was on the TV.
Where was this? Suffolk or Nassau County?
It was out in the Hamptons.
Out in the Hamptons?
Yeah.
Hamptons? Come on, my friend Jimbo. He's a cop out there.
All right, let's find out.
Jimbo's got to tell us what was on the TV.
How great would it be if the guy was holding the remote with one hand and his pants were down around his ankles?
It was a tape in the VCR.
Oh, what a way to go.
He was old school.
Years worth of lesbians.
Just hitting the end, rewinding, and playing again.
Wow, that is just great. That is a great story.
I want to know. That is really horrific.
Let's say
the image is like out of a horror movie.
Yeah, let's go to Scott in Jersey. Scott, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey.
I heard on the paper this morning, I think you had the Logo channel on.
Yeah.
Isn't that the gay network?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watching the gay network mummified.
He was asleep face down on the couch.
He was playing the pillow.
Spent hours to pry that pillow out of his mouth. Jaw locked up on him.
All right, Scott, thank you.
Just this dried out prune of an old man. Like when you make those apple head mummy things, you carve the apple and let it dry. That's what he was, sitting there with a little tuft of hair, some troll hair on his head.
You think somewhere within the last year, just one eyeball just kind of popped out and rolled across the floor?
Oh, they dried up like prunes in his head.
It just kind of fell out.
It was the low humidity, they said. And he just sat there slowly every day, just drying out a little more.
A lot of people are asking,
Tutankhamun.
who paid his bills? Because obviously,
No one.
No one was paying his bills.
No one was paying his bills. And they were wondering how so much time went by with his electricity on that no one paid.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got the news story. Maybe there's more to it.
I hope so.
Yeah, this was the story. Well, this was the story of the weekend until freaking Brittany did what she did.
Yeah.
It was down this long, lonely driveway off Wakeman Road where police came upon a gruesome scene. The mummified body of homeowner Vincenzo Riccardo sitting in a chair in front of a television which was still on. The Suffolk County Medical Examiner says the 70-year-old widower had been dead for more than a year.
All
Oh,
right.
my God. And I was really shocked about it.
Neighbors Helen and Pat Boyle say Riccardo was...
Yeah. Neighbors.
Neighbors. Hey,
Way to be neighborly.
paying attention.
Yeah, way to pay attention.
You got a neighborhood watch in your friggin' town?
Didn't you notice the TV on in the middle of the night over and over again?
And apparently it was blaring when they walked in.
Oh,
They
really?
said it was blasting because he must have been hard of hearing.
Old man volume.
Just old man volume, some bad show, and a mummified dead guy watching the whole thing.
Oh, that is sweet.
Oh, my God. And I was really shocked about it.
Neighbors Helen and Pat Boyle say Riccardo was blind and used this rope to help guide him from his house to the street.
A rope?
A rope? So he had a little rope that went from the doorway to maybe his mailbox that was chock full of mail?
Yeah, the mailbox was like 200 feet from the house. The house was set back a bit. I'm sure maybe
It'd be funny as a neighbor to just make a joke and take the rope and extend it across a really major thoroughfare. He just walks right across the street.
Or what you do,
whistling a happy tune.
if he's a friend of yours and you just want to goof on him, you tie it to your own waist and then you bend over and when he goes to reach in the mailbox. Hey.
Just keep unwinding new rope into circles. Where am I going? That mailbox is far today.
We got more on the story.
I'll just watch TV. I don't feel good.
He was a nice guy. Just come up there for his mail every day. Sometimes he'd go for a walk down the road.
We didn't see him over time, but the ambulance had gone in a few times. And he was taken out, and then we thought he went to a facility and he was taken care of, but that seemed not to be the case.
The medical examiner says Riccardo appeared to have died of natural causes and his body was mummified because of the lack of humidity in his home. Police found Riccardo while investigating a report of burst water pipes at his house.
I love the fact the neighbor says she was surprised. Like, yeah, I would hope you're surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprised there was a dead guy sitting there for a year watching television.
Yeah.
Imagine if that's what you expected. Well, he's been dead for a year. Yeah, no, I kind of figured.
Yeah, we knew it.
Right in the tube.
We looked in the window, saw him there each day, getting a little drier.
He looks happy.
Yeah, he was watching TV.
Imagine if he died in mid-laugh like that. Ha! Like in mid-chuckle.
So his mouth is wide open, just the awful breath of a dead guy for
Horrible
a year
scene,
straight.
like out of 7.
Yeah.
That's one of those creepy, yeesh.
And now neighbors are wondering how could Riccardo's death go unnoticed for so long? The fact that his house is up a long driveway and can't be seen from the street may be one reason, but there were other signs that something was terribly wrong, like all the mail that was piling up in Riccardo's mailbox.
A year without no one coming up, like even sending someone to go check up on a person is kind of weird. If you think about it, bills, telephone, cable, whatnot, there's been a pile of it.
Didn't you wonder where he went?
I thought he went to, his family sent him to, an adult center somewhere.
Neighbors say Riccardo's death is a painful reminder of the importance of checking on your neighbors, especially the elderly.
Who
It's
cares?
very, very sad. Nobody should die like that. Nobody.
Guy must have been a real dick if no one looked at him for a year.
No one looked at him for a year, and everyone assumes, how come you would assume They took him to a facility instead of assume he might be dead in his house and maybe just knock.
I got to go back because I'm a little confused here.
Look in the window.
Did the neighbor go, no one should die like that?
Yeah.
That's a hell of a way to go, man.
Why? You're just sitting watching television.
I had a great aunt go that way. 101 years old, she died in front of the TV.
Was it all the way in
How
May?
bad is that death?
No.
Her sister, though.
Oh.
So let's calm down a little bit.
Halfway, May. CT May.
Man, I want to hear the end of this, the last few seconds.
These families send them to like an adult center somewhere.
Neighbors say Ricardo's death is a painful reminder of the importance of checking on your neighbors, especially the elderly.
It's very, very sad. Nobody should die like that. Nobody.
Nobody should die like that?
No one should be left for a year to, mummify.
Doesn't matter at that point.
It doesn't matter at that point, but
I think the guy honestly, I think the guy had a perfect death. He's at his home watching TV on his favorite chair, and he dies.
And no one bugged him.
I could think of a million other ways to die that are a little more horrific than that.
No one bothered him either.
No one bothered him.
He just sat there, drying out.
I mean, everyone
like a shrinky dink in his chair.
Everyone has this idea of dying the perfect way, like I don't know, in a bed with their family around.
Is that how it's supposed to go?
Yeah, like it's in the movies, man. Little pain, nothing going on. The reality is, most of us are going to die in a horrific way. All right.
Does it have to be horrific? Are you moving Baghdad?
That's the reality of it, though. But everyone romanticizes it. They all want that perfect death. When they think about it.
Music playing.
Just don't think about it in the middle of the night. It gets a little creepier.
Hard to sleep.
I like to think about death when it's bright and sunny out so it doesn't scare me as much. I mean, the guy had a perfect death.
Yeah.
In my eyes, in front of the TV like that.
All lonely.
Maybe he probably wasn't even lonely. He probably hated his own family.
Apparently so. Did they reach the family? Like, no follow-up on this? How about you find the family and say, hey, did you notice? Or how about find that friggin' mailman? Who the hell was that, Newman? He's got to be the worst mailman ever.
Yeah.
They just doesn't say a word as mail is piling up for a year? That's just some schlep doing his friggin' job. Just drop the mail off.
Wouldn't you, tell a supervisor or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. Call me crazy, but there might be something going on with this house.
There's a problem here.
The mail is 4 feet high at this point.
Yeah. The supervisor goes, what are you asking me for? And it just shoots everybody.
And where was all this mail going? Was it up in the trees and stuff at this point because it's just being blown around?
It would have to have been, blown all over the place. Unless the guy had a friggin', one of those giant mail sorters that they got at the post office. He didn't have a little mailbox. How much could fit in there? A month?
Maybe the guy was just throwing his mail away. Like, oh, crap. This is how I get caught?
I looted his place.
Let's go to John in Pennsylvania. John, what's up?
This is Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
How about you're looking for a house, right?
Yeah, get my realtor on it.
Oh.
Cheap house in the Hamptons.
Yeah. Hey, it's cheap home.
I saw a dead guy apartment a few months ago.
Yeah.
When I was looking around for a place in Manhattan here.
Too creepy.
All right, thanks, John.
I wouldn't care if someone died in a place. I'd live in it with the guy still watching TV. Wouldn't bother me if it was a nice enough place.
Just talk to him if you want.
Just could care less.
Hey, what's on?
Turn
what
it
are you
down.
watching today? Yeah, turn that down.
Did I tell you the story of the French couple?
No.
And the son? They had 2 sons?
Uh-huh.
It's hot.
Well, I was
an aristocrat's joke.
still looking for a place in Manhattan. We this was early in the search. We went into this brownstone, and we're walking around. This house is immaculate, and it was a French couple and their son, about 16-ish. Okay, and the wife was following us around the whole place with this hope in her eyes, hoping that we were gonna say, yeah, we want this place. And she's straightening up as we go, even though the place was just perfect as is, perfect, nothing out of place, And she's running around and she's kind of adjusting things to make every room look, really nice as we're walking through. And I just got an eerie vibe in that place. I'm like, what? Something's not right. So we leave this place and we go to the realtor, and they're not supposed to say anything. But I'm like, look, what's up? What's going on here? There's something up. What's up? Well, their son committed suicide in there, and they just want to get rid of the place. I'm like, ugh. And now I'm going through my mind, like, trying to figure out where in the house he did it. Because we walked through the whole house, and she was following us.
If she's going to fess up with that much info, she ought to tell you the whole story.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Of where it was, how it happened.
It was definitely in that house. But
I mean, what room, what happened, circumstances, everything.
I knew I found out as much as I needed.
Well, did you start going back over it and like going, oh yeah, like that's why there was police tape in front of that one room? She walked by the one room, she's like, and this here, we just had the hallway. Oh my God! Had the hallway decorated. And she walked by the room.
Patches of paint on the wall.
I did notice one rug was very clean in one section.
Yeah, they cut out the rug, put a new piece in.
Taped off section of somebody in a little handgun. She walked off.
I just thought it was art.
Miss, your picture fell on the floor. The body outline with the handgun next to it fell on the floor.
All right, let's say hi to Chuck in Jersey. Chuck, what's up?
Hey, Chuck.
Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, Jimmy, I just wanted to know if he was watching reruns of Quincy.
How ironic would that be? The man was dead for a year, Sam.
He hasn't picked up his mail in a year, Sam.
Watching out, fellas.
Best Jack Klugman ever.
Yeah.
Stupid homoerotic Sam just there to service Quincy in any manner necessary. With perhaps a massage and feeding him marmalade in a tub. I think Quincy had an Asian boy fetish. And
he certainly did.
Young Sam.
Speaking of medical exams.
Sam, we have to go to Thailand to solve this one.
Yeah.
Why?
Speaking of medical exams.